by Timbers head coach Phil Neville. Phil, do you want to start off with thoughts or go straight to questions?
Yeah. It was a high level, brilliant game of football. So I think both sets of players should be incredibly proud of that performance. That is, from a pure player's point of view, that was an incredible advert for MLS football. From a player's point of view, not officially. That from a player's point of view, I don't want to add the officials into that because I've got to say I think the sending off of Steve Shrundolo was an absolute disgrace. I really do. I got a yellow card at the end for taking my players away from the referee. I thought that I was showing respect. I thought I was doing my job. I thought I was protecting and showing respect to a set of referees that didn't do us any favours, that have never done us any favours. And I get a yellow card, and maybe I'm suspended for the next game for actually trying to help them. But that's it. Done. That's it, me done with them.
Okay, we'll open it up to questions.
And we will get a report, and they'll say that I was causing dissent. I was getting my players away from the officials. And Steve Shrundolo should never have been sent off. Should never have been sent off on any game of football in the whole world. And what we're seeing now is that we've just played a 3-3 game against one of the best teams, an incredible advert of football. And I just think that they just want to be the kings of the castle. It's all about them. They just want to show that they are the main people in this league. And unfortunately, it's not good.
Phil, like you said, it was an incredible advertisement, sporting wise. You've started a lot of second halves this season really strongly, but it felt maybe just a little bit flat to start the second half of this one after a really good first half. Just what did LAFC, what problems did they pose that made the second half more difficult?
Well, they're a good team, and we knew that we had to be a little bit more compact and almost play it like a little bit of an away game in terms of the counter-attack. And we had to make sure that we stopped balls through. We had to nullify spaces, and we had to dig in. And it's a quality that this team have. The goal to equalise then sparked us into life a little bit. And what we forgot in our defensive unit, we forgot then to play football and get composure on the ball. I felt all night that we just weren't at our absolute best composure-wise. It's a big game. It was a high-level game. The intensity was ferocious. It was a top. Everyone on the pitch was an athlete, and you just needed that little bit of composure on the ball in the moments. And I just felt in the second half, even in the first half, I felt we were a little bit rushed and excitable. But that's what you get with young players. That's what you get when you're building a young team. There's games when it's just, oh, whoa, this is big. And what I've just said to them is that coming out of this game, they will be miles better for that experience. And when they go into this kind of atmosphere again and that level of game again, they'll be better for it. It's the only way you'll learn. You don't learn from watching. You learn from playing. And I'd say that my team, my young players especially, have learned a lot. I learned a lot in this atmosphere tonight, playing against an experienced team of World Cup winners and experienced international players.
Was the Anthony sub injury related?
Yeah, he had... just before halftime, we got him to halftime. We put him on a bike at halftime just to keep it going, and then as soon as he stood up, he couldn't go.
Hey Phil, I was going to ask about Anthony. So my second question is kind of related to the referee, but more with you coaching and watching these some fouls that get called, and then the next play they're not called, and this kind of inconsistency. How do you keep these young players focused and motivated and keep their head in the game when you can't give them a definitive, this is what's going to be called, this is how aggressive I want you to be?
Well, I just had 2 or 3 minutes with Diego Chara, who's 39 years of age, who's played more games than anyone else in this league, and forget the young players, even he can't understand it, you know. Even he can't understand it. So it's difficult to explain to the younger players when even our most experienced can't. It was an incredible game of football, and it needed a high-level game of football. Needed high-level officiating. Now, what I would say is, I didn't think we deserved to win the game, and I think if you speak to probably LAFC, they probably feel exactly the same way as us. The offside in the first half could have been on. It could have been on, it could have been off. I have to see it again. And they probably felt a couple of decisions went their way. I know that Jimmy had some incredible saves from Boanga. So I think 3-3 was probably a fair result. But I just want to be talking about the football. I don't want to be frustrated. I don't want to receive a yellow card for trying to help the situation. I don't want Steve Cherundolo to be sent off for nothing. You know, Steve didn't deserve to be sent off. I'm angry because the opposing manager got a red card. I think that shows where I'm at, really.
Coach, also in that second half and throughout the first half, several missed big chances, a couple of posts being hit, a couple of crossbars, a couple of just wild touches inside the box. Just how do you think the attack performed today, despite not having a ton of the ball and still creating quite a bit of danger at LAFC's box?
I mean, we scored 3 goals against LAFC. Could have easily had more. So could they. Pipe Mora scored 2 goals this week. Kevin Kelsey scored 2 goals last week. Last week I said Pipe didn't deserve to be dropped this week. I mean, Kevin Kelsey said to me on Friday, he said, normally when you score 2 goals, you don't get left out the week after. So that's where we're at with these forwards. We're scoring goals. I think Da Costa will start scoring goals, the one at the end when he hits the crossbar. You know, he when I talk about composure, he was probably the best player on the pitch for me in terms of composure on the ball. So we're super proud of the efforts of everybody. I think everybody contributed. Everybody showed courage, and you know, I think in the games we've scored 3 tonight, 4 last week, 3 in Colorado, 3 against Houston, and I think at the start of the season people were saying where the goals are going to come from, and I think what you can see now is that we're a team that can score goals, and it's exciting. I knew it was going to be a tough game. I knew it was going to be tight, and it was a pleasure to be involved in such a high-level game. And I think it was a great advertisement for the MLS.
Phil, it seems like Pantemis is just making saves that maybe you describe as, you know, theatrical almost with the way he's getting off the ground and getting some of those shots. How do you describe kind of what he's been able to give you back there? I know some got past him tonight, but just
I mean, he's 2 penalty saves or 1 penalty save last week, couple of 1v1 saves last week. He's performing at a really high level. He's performing at a really high level. And, you know, I think tonight I didn't use 5 subs. I'm probably only making two changes in most games. And that's testament to the players that are in the starting 11 at this moment in time, maybe 12. And it's really difficult for those that are just a little bit on the outskirts. And what I keep saying to them is that in May we've got 10 games, 9 games, and that they're all going to play. This moment in time, they're becoming undroppable, you know, and Jimmy's one of those that's becoming a little bit undroppable because of his performances. You get the shirt, you earn the shirt, and you keep the shirt. And, you know, we're lucky we've got some outstanding keepers, and at this moment in time, Jimmy's performing at the top level.
Okay, we'll wrap it there. Thanks, Coach.